Kindergarten. All this week we have been talking about our senses. We talked about our eyes and our sense of sight. We talked about our ears and our sense of hearing. And today we're going to talk all about our nose and our sense of smell. So just like we always do, we're going to start with some vocabulary. And our first vocabulary word might seem a little bit yucky. Our first vocabulary word is mucus. Can you say mucus? Yeah. So mucus is the slimy liquid substance made inside your nose. So when I have a cold, I use a tissue to blow the mucus out of my nose. In this picture, this man is blowing the mucus out of his nose into that tissue. So that's what's inside your nose. Then we have nostrils. Nostrils are the two openings in your nose, and you breathe through those nostrils. So there are these little holes down here. And when you breathe in, the air goes through your nostrils. Our last word is scents. And a scent is a smell or an odor. So if you spray perfume, you know how the air starts to smell different? That is the scent. I love the scent of chocolate chip cookies being baked in the oven. So that's our scent. So we're going to learn about a new sense today. Before we start, I want you to think back to what you've learned about the sense of sight and the sense of hearing. What are a couple of things that you've learned about our eyes and our ears? If you want to pause the video and tell someone that you're with about those things, go right ahead. Okay. So today we are talking about the sense of smell. There it is, like this little girl smelling that flower. If you close your eyes and smell different things, there are some things that smell really good, like flowers, like cookies, and then there are some things that do not smell good at all, like a pile of mud or someone's dirty feet. There are a lot of things that don't smell very good. And when something doesn't smell very good, sometimes you might plug your nose so you don't have to smell it. So I'm going to think about where you like to go with your family. Where is somewhere you like to go with your family? Maybe you like to go to a pizza restaurant. Or maybe you like to go outside. I want you to think, when you go to those places, what does it smell like? When I go to a pizza place, it smells so good because it smells like pizza with all that bread and red sauce. Or if you go to Six Flags, sometimes it smells like fried dough. There are so many good smells in this world. And today we're going to learn about different facts about our noses and our sense of smell. So I want you really to be paying attention to how your nose can tell when there's something to smell. Let's get started. Okay. Everybody take a deep breath. Every time you inhale or breathe in, a lot more than air goes up your nose. Along with air, thousands of teeny tiny molecules or small pieces of things too tiny to see enter your nose every time you breathe. They are called odor molecules, and together they make up what we call scents. So scents and odors are smells. When the man in this picture inhales, the odor molecules travel up his nose, and then he smells the scent of coffee, because there's coffee in this mug. Molecules are microscopic, so small that you can't see them without a microscope, but they're floating around in the air all the time. There are millions of odor molecules in the air, especially hovering around everything that has a scent. The inside of your nose is like a big damp cave designed to catch and keep odor molecules. When you sniff a flower like this little girl, odor molecules rush through your nostrils. Remember the two openings in your nose and travel high up inside your nose until they reach smell receptors. Smell receptors are tiny parts deep inside the nose that catch the smell or scent from the air. The smell receptors tell your brain about the molecules you just sniffed, and your brain sends a message back to tell you, that's a sweet-smelling flower. Okay, so people can identify a huge number of different kinds of smells and odors, between 4,000 and 10,000. This is because we can tell the difference between that many different odor molecules. So in here you see there's your nostril, and we see all of these different odor molecules going up into your nose, up to your smell receptor, and then your brain tells you what you're smelling. We are lucky enough to be able to smell so many odors, even though sometimes they smell bad. Some animals, like dogs, have an even better sense of smell than humans. How many of you have a dog at home? I know, Nyla, you have Ziggy. And I know, Rajim, you have Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I know, Derek, you have Stormy. Who else has dogs at home? So, dogs have 25 times more smell receptors than humans. Dogs have to sniff really hard to get the odor molecules all the way up their noses to meet the smell receptors. So if you've ever seen a dog walking with its nose to the ground, like in this picture, you may even be able to hear it sniff. People sniff too, especially when we want to figure out what a smell is coming from or what a smell means. Can everyone inhale and sniff? Pretty cool. If you had trouble sniffing just now, then maybe it's because your nose is stuffed up. When you have a stuffy nose, it means that your nostrils are full of mucus. Remember, that slimy liquid substance secreted inside your nose. You always have mucus in your nose and other parts of your head, but when you're sick with a cold or have allergies, your body makes even more mucus. I know it sounds icky, but mucus is very important. It traps dirt that might be floating around in the air you breathe and keeps it from going farther into your body. If you're sick, the extra mucus can stuff up your nose or cause it to run. And when there's extra mucus in your nose, it's hard for odor molecules to travel high enough in your nose to reach the smell receptors. The odor molecules are blocked or stopped by the mucus. Block means to stop from getting through. That means that when your nose is stuffed up with a cold, you can't smell as well as when you're healthy. And when that happens, it's time to grab a tissue and blow your nose. Shout out to Sir Blake, who was feeling like he had a stuffy nose the other day and went to get a tissue to make sure he could blow his nose. Okay, your sense of smell can actually help protect you. For instance, if smoke molecules travel through your nostrils to your smell receptors, your brain will know there's a fire somewhere. And you will know that you need to get away from the fire. Even if you're not sure you smell smoke, you only think you do. It's better to leave the area and have an adult check to see if there's a fire. Better safe than sorry. Better safe than sorry is a saying that means it's better to take your time and be very careful than do something than it is to rush ahead or ignore a warning and risk getting hurt. But your sense of smell doesn't only tell you about bad things or dangers. It can also be a lot of fun to sniff because many things smell great. Have you ever smelled chocolate chip cookies baking in the oven or buttery popcorn at a movie theater? Next time you're enjoying your favorite scent, try to remember that odor molecules are hitting your smell receptors and telling your brain, wow, that smells great. Pretty cool, right? You're going to talk about this a little bit more with Mr. Malcolm, but before you do that, I want you to click on the button underneath this video that says Exit Ticket. And on Seesaw, you're going to complete this sort. You're going to put pictures of good smells in this box and pictures of bad smells in this box. Great job, kindergarten.